This sexy piece of hardware is the Nokia N9, Nokia's latest flagship all-touchscreen phone. The first thing you'll notice about it is its styling. A 3.9-inch AMOLED screen with an 854 by 480 pixel resolution takes up the majority of the front of the device. The rest of the outside of the device is made out of a single piece of polycarbonate, which is a fancy word for plastic. The finish that they have on here, though, doesn't make it look cheap and flimsy like plastic usually looks. And the fact that the phone has a decent weight to it also helps it have more of a luxurious feel. Inside this casing, they managed to fit a 1 GHz processor and 1 GB of RAM. They also managed to squeeze in 2 cameras, an 8 megapixel camera with Carl Zeiss lens on the back that also has a dual LED flash, and a video call camera on the front, down here. Another thing you'll notice, or rather not notice, is too many buttons. In fact, it only has 3. Volume up, volume down, and the all-important power button. Now you may think, what, no home button at least? Every phone at least has a home button. Well, not this one. How do you navigate, you might be asking? Perhaps an on-screen soft keyboard or something like that? No. And that's where we get to the next unique feature of the Nokia N9, the operating system. The operating system on this phone is called MeeGo, and this is the first commercially available device with MeeGo on it. MeeGo is a simple OS to figure out. You have 3 main screens, this being your apps screen. All of the apps you have installed on your device can be found in this simple scrolling list. You can also hold down on them to reorganize them or even uninstall them completely. The next screen is reached by scrolling to the left, and it is the events screen. This is where all of your RSS feeds you've set up on the device will appear along with your Facebook and Twitter friend statuses and updates. You can also filter these by Facebook only, Twitter only, or by your RSS feeds only. Besides that, you also have the weather and date on this screen, as well as any notifications you get about text, missed calls, emails, etc. The last screen is the multitasking screen. On this screen, we have a neat card-like view of all the apps that we have currently open. These cards are also live, as in they show you what is happening in these apps as it's happening. You can also pinch to zoom out and in for when you have a lot of apps running, for example. Isn't it pretty? Holding down on any of these cards allows you to be able to either close them one by one or close all of them at once. Tapping on any of these cards brings you into the app, of course. But how do you get back out of it? No home button, remember? Just swipe. If you start your swipe just off the screen and then bring it onto the screen, it flicks the current open app away. This works from any direction and becomes quite addictive and satisfying. And when watching a video, it's borderline mesmerizing. Now that's pretty much the gist of navigating MeeGo. Like I said, it's simple. The rest of it are just apps. We'll talk about some of the apps it comes with real quick, but frankly we just don't have enough time to go through all of them, at least not in this review. If you would like to see how all the apps work, head to the link underneath this review on our site for our complete walkthrough. Not now though, wait. Now there are some things about the apps that we should get into. First is that all of the most basic apps one can expect on a high-end device are present on this device as well. From the phone dialer to the contacts to messaging, a browser, maps with free turn-by-turn navigation, a document viewer, universal search, notes, calculator, etc. Besides these though, we also have a few big-name third-party apps like Facebook, Twitter, Foursquare, and even Skype apps. It even comes preloaded with a few games like Need for Speed, Galaxy on Fire 2, and even Angry Birds. Some other apps worth mentioning and exploring are the lock screen, which always displays the time as well as any notifications you may have, unless it's in your pocket or the proximity sensor notifies it that it's not being looked at, so it turns off completely. The Accounts app, which shows you all the different accounts that you're able to sync with. The preloaded Wi-Fi Hotspot app that allows you to use your device's data network as a hotspot for other devices if you have a data tethering plan. And some of the need apps from the Nokia market that are already released. These apps all run quite brilliantly too, with only the occasional hiccup, like how my contacts' Facebook pictures just disappeared this morning for some reason. But that's not bad considering this is the first iteration of this operating system. As with any new operating system, most of these issues will be ironed out as updates are issued, and new features will be added, and so will functionality. So, as MeeGo is updated, all of the downs associated with this should fade. Or will they? The N9's operating system is easily one of its most unique and fun aspects, but it also seems to be its biggest problem. Nokia and Intel announced their partnership to create a new operating system called MeeGo in February of 2010. Almost exactly a year later, before any MeeGo devices were launched, Nokia announces their plan to partner with Microsoft and to use Windows Phone 7 as the new operating system for their high-end devices, and that they will discontinue their involvement in MeeGo. Intel vows to continue with MeeGo, but the blow is already struck. Some important developers leave the MeeGo team, and any wind in the MeeGo sails starts to diminish quickly. Fast forward to today, and the Nokia N9 is received by reviewers all over the world as an amazing piece of hardware with a fun UI, but the same caveat. Don't buy it, because MeeGo is already dead. There won't ever be any apps, etc. Not all hope is lost for the N9 and MeeGo. There is still a huge developer hacking following that could manage to gain traction, although probably won't be enough to carry the whole operating system. And there are two words: Alien Dalvik. These probably just sound like gibberish to most of you, but they're actually pretty cool. The Alien Dalvik is essentially a program that can run on MeeGo. This program then allows MeeGo to run Android apps. Imagine it. Super simple user interface, exceptional card multitasking system, that lovable swipe away gesture, but with hundreds of thousands of apps from Android. Now, that is something that I could get used to. But unfortunately, when asking Myriad Group, the company that makes the Alien Dalvik, about pricing and release date, I received a generic response without any indication of either, leading me to believe that it won't be available anytime soon. So, until either the Alien Dalvik is released or other manufacturers, i.e. car manufacturers maybe, start using MeeGo and that generates enough developer attention and money, I have to agree with all of the other reviewers that you probably watched. Nokia N9, one of the nicest phones you'll probably never buy.